Apollo with me.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us and following us here at the MoraPartners and the Master Plan Podcast, episode number 5. Today we have our special guest, top producing agent, Mario Falconi. What's up, brother? Welcome,
Hey,
man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
joining us today.
Yeah.
So again, guys, follow us on Instagram, social media, Facebook, YouTube as well. Click the links. Follow us for more content. And today, guys, we have special guest Mario Falconi. No script, just raw, right? This is a specialty about this podcast. We don't know what we're going to cover.
All right.
At least I do. Guest doesn't. But Mario, man, tell us. Yeah, let's start with tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Mario Falconi? Tell us a little bit about that, right? I'm
Yeah.
sure you get that question a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. First of all, it's a pleasure. It's always, being here
Absolutely.
around you and everyone else in the office. I feel like the energy here is just, off the charts. So I'm always thrilled
That's
to be
right.
here, man. Yeah.
Always
so
on fire, guys.
Always on fire. So yeah, if you guys want to experience something different, you got to come out, experience the Team Eric Mora sort of, office environment. So I welcome you guys here. Yeah, man. So, man, where do I start? That's a good question, right? I'm married now.
Okay.
Happily married, kids.
4, right? 3.
Yeah,
3.
three.
4.
Yeah, yeah, and counting. So, been here in Bakersfield for almost 6 years now. Moved from LA,
Okay.
6 years ago, just because coincidentally just couldn't afford to find the perfect home for me and my family in LA. So,
Oh, man.
yeah,
We hear that a lot, right?
yeah, so it's funny enough. I'm now what I do for a living. I'm doing the very same thing that I did for myself, which is find a better place, with all the bells and whistles, better neighborhood.
So you can relate to the consumer,
Yeah.
especially from the LA area.
Exactly, and
Nice.
less traffic.
Yeah, always.
So 6 years ago we decided to make the move, man. And to be honest with you, I haven't looked back. So totally
So
happy.
tell me you don't miss the LA culture. Yeah. I'm sure there's a little bit of it still in you, right?
there is, but the funny thing is that every time we make a drive to visit family or friends,
You're reminded of it,
Yeah,
right?
you're reminded of the reason you left, and you're like, no,
Yeah.
I'm still happy. So yeah, man. 6 years ago, decided to make the move, and we're completely happy here. I think that the schools here are just amazing. The vibe itself in the city is just completely different than what I was used to in LA. So I couldn't be happier, man.
So why not? So one of the questions I have is, for people that are moving from LA, why not Moreno Valley? I know that's area that people look into. San Bernardino. Why Bakersfield?
You know what? So we did look into different areas aside from Bakersfield. But to be honest with you, for some reason, we Bakersfield seemed to be like that. It had that new and up and coming vibe to it that we just couldn't find anywhere else. And we looked at cities like Palmdale and Lancaster. We drove around, checked out a bunch of homes out there, but it just didn't have what I felt at the time Bakersfield had going for itself.
I
So
see.
yeah, and
That's
so,
good stuff. Okay, so if I ever do a top 10 favorites in Bakersfield, that's one of the things, right? Just the environment, the feel, right?
Exactly.
Culture here is
yeah.
a little
The
different.
culture is different. I feel like that. When you have kids, that's,
Yeah, especially.
with kids, it's going to be a
little different.
it's a big plus. So yeah, man.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Good. Okay. All right, man. No, that's exciting, and no, we've been great people throughout that transition. I remember when I was in college, right after high school, I moved to LA for school, and I would come down on the weekends. There's times where I would go a couple months not coming here, but I would see the city grow.
Yeah.
A lot of it, some of it was like bad people, right, moving to town. You'd hear about it in the news, but then you have great families, great people that made good decisions to come here, and also it's been a great move for the city.
Right.
So I know we've had great personnel even for the city, a Bakersfield right staff that's come from Northern California South. It's kind of mixed in now, and it's really a different city than it was when growing up. Yeah, man, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome again.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. So Mario, tell us a little bit of Falconi, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. When we first met, I asked you, "Hey, are you like Italian?
Yeah.
You part of the mob,
That's right. Yeah, no, that's funny. Yeah, I get that question all the time, and I wish I was. No, I'm just kidding. No. No, it's my grandparents' last name. So yeah, my grandfather, he is Italian
Oh,
descent. So,
nice. Thank you.
but yeah, I do get that a lot. If I have any connections with, no, I don't. That I know of at least. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So,
I see.
but yeah, no, that's a question I get all the time.
Yeah, 'cause you don't hear very much, which is good for branding, right? For real
Yeah.
estate branding, Falconi, very
Yeah, well,
different.
it sticks.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
sticks with
exactly.
whenever meeting new people, clients, buyers, sellers.
Yeah, absolutely.
You throw that name in there, and they're like automatically thinking. They're sizing you up already.
Yeah.
So
I would throw in a little cue like, yes, I am
yeah,
from,
I'll get that house. One way or the other, we'll get that house.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
there we
we'll
go.
Break some knees.
Hey, we'll work on a marketing campaign outcomes
Yeah.
for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Hey, so tell us a little bit of your childhood. And maybe a memory
Yeah.
of a child. Being a kid. What was that like, man?
Um, so many.
Something that sticks out.
Yeah. So many, right? I think, to be honest with you, for me, growing up, I think I remember always being a very persistent child. I wasn't a troublemaker like my siblings were, but maybe I was, but I always sort of had a way to, get my way out of things. And I think that, that kind of goes back to, having that people skills,
Yep.
personality skills, right? Being
mhm.
able to, delegate and
Find solutions.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I wasn't a troublemaker. I think from my parents tell me, I think I was a pretty good kid, even in
Nice.
school. Believe it
see.
or not, I was pretty good in school. Played sports. I really liked it, sports when growing up. But something inside of me, man, was always this. I had this sort of sales vision.
I see.
Growing up, I remember, man, I was always.
Selling something, right?
Yeah. Not so much in the sense of like hustling, but there was always some sort of part of me that always I was
Pushing.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I feel like back then, even at an early age, I had a sense of always looking at things, halfway, glass halfway full
Full.
kind of
There you
mentality,
go.
So, but yeah, man, no, I had a great growing up.
And then in LA, right? East
Yeah,
LA area?
LA, exactly. Yeah, grew up in LA. Went to Glendale High School. Played sports. Was involved in like just different after school programs and stuff like that. I didn't really know what I wanted to do because at that age I feel like
it's all over the place.
it's all over the place,
Yeah.
man. But it's just I think I had a great childhood growing up, man. Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
So tell us something we don't know about Mario.
Something you don't know about me, man. That's a good question, man.
So I know part of your background, right? You came from sales.
Yeah.
I think you guys were running an operation.
Yeah. in
Tell
LA.
us a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. I was back in LA. We had my younger brother and my dad. We had a startup. We had a small company back in LA. My background is sales. Been in sales for like the last 20 years, and something that I feel like I'm really good at. And so back in LA, I used to work with a lot of lawyers. And, to me, working with lawyers kind of sort of redefined, what my overall personality was going to be like.
Nice.
And
Okay.
I think, that's
Yeah,
part
kind
of
of shaped you up, man. Molded you.
Yeah. It did. Because when you're dealing with, these circles, right?
No wonder you're always dressed sharp, man.
You have to,
It's
right?
like an attorney.
You have to, man.
Licenciado Mario.
Thank you, man. Thank you. No, you know what it is right. Unfortunately, we live in a world where people are constantly sizing you up.
Always.
From the minute you shake their hands, from the minute the first word that comes out of your mouth, they're going to size you up.
Absolutely.
So, as real estate agents, right? I think it's a cliche, but I think it's equally important to always, come across as
prepared.
Yeah, always be prepared. You never know, who you're going to meet, who you're going to run into.
Right.
And so, anyway, growing up in LA, dealing with all these lawyers, it sort of helped me, prepare myself for where I am now. So,
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, Mario, I don't know if you agree with me on this, but, I think pre-COVID, right, real estate was very, I'd say professional.
Yeah.
People were dressing very nice and, showing off suits and all that. And then COVID happened, and then everyone just kind of, dressed up however they felt like doing it because it was okay, right? It was normal. You couldn't really be Actually, you couldn't even show property during COVID, guys.
Yeah.
If you don't remember those days,
It was tough.
it was very tough. So you almost had to disguise yourself, right? Well, I think that continued even till today. It's
Yeah.
2023, and people are still dressing up like it's COVID. And you know, and for myself, right? It looks. I think it looks. It doesn't look professional when you see a realtor, you know, like in their gym clothes, or treating it like a hobby.
Yeah.
And you know, what do you think about that, man? What do you,
Yeah.
you know,
My-
any opinion on that?
Yeah. No, my thoughts. I agree with you. Yeah. To be honest with you, when I first started real estate here in Bakersfield, there was this one particular time that I can remember. You know, this is during the COVID times where, you know, even after COVID, I think this is like 2020, 2021, where we had to, you know, make lines outside, you know, just to do showings, right?
Yeah.
I remember this one time I showed up, I had my clients with me, it was dressed properly, and there was this other agent in front of me who was in flip-flops and shorts, and he had a clipboard, and that's how I knew he was the real estate agent, because he had a clipboard with, you know, a copy of all the homes that they were looking at. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'm fairly a new guy, and I'm looking at this other real estate agent thinking, you know, like, what's going on here? You know, like, you know, when your buyers look better than you.
Yeah, there's something wrong with that. Yeah.
You know, that picture might, you know, doesn't look good.
Doesn't
look
look good.
But, yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I remember, you know, when I look back and the reason why I got inspired, you know, to be a professional, right? I remember, I mean, some real estate agents were that influence, but they were dressing up nice, right?
Yeah.
They drove, you know, I didn't know what car they drove. It didn't matter. But I think even back, like you're saying in high school, you know, even though we didn't know, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I know I wanted to be a professional. I knew I wanted to wear a tie, you know, whether it was working at the bank or selling pots and pans,
Whatever.
you know, door to door. I wanted to be that, you know, and there's a sense of feeling a pride, right?
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Exactly.
Dressing nice. So congrats, man.
Thank you.
So that's,
Thank you. Appreciate
so that's the attorney attire, man.
Yeah, you have to, right?
So if you don't know, guys, here at TheMoraPartners, we do have standards, right? Even dressing up to the office, right? We don't allow the flip-flops, unfortunately, and the gym clothes. You got to become professional. You know, we recommend a tie if you can, but always in a dress shirt, slacks, pants, okay? So good stuff. So I know you told me a little bit about this. Maybe you can share with us. Okay, why real estate?
Why real estate? Man, that's a loaded question, man. That's a loaded question.
We all have that story of something, right? Somebody.
Yeah. But that, you know, that question actually might tie into, you know, the previous question that you asked me, you know, what was it about me that, you know, probably most people don't know. You know, back in 1995, 1996, I was, you know, 16, 17 years old. And I shared this story with you before.
Yeah.
One of my best friends,
Yeah.
he was a real estate agent, and so was his mom out in the LA area. Very successful agents. And growing up, you know, I would, they used to work for Century 21 back then. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Give a shout out to the Realm Brokerage.
Saco de Lao. They had the gold coat.
Yeah. So I used to, you know, you used to hang out a lot, and we grew up together. And one of the things that I remember doing at 16, 17 years old was attending open houses.
Oh, man.
Back then, man. They would give me a Century 21 polo shirt, and I'd be at the open houses. I'd be doing showings. Yeah, this is back then. This is way back then. Hopefully, I'm not getting in trouble here. I didn't have a license back then. But that was my first time getting involved in real estate.
Oh, wow.
And my friend's
That's
mom
awesome.
used to, my friend's mom used to tell me, Mario, you're really good at this. You know, she would beg me to take the classes. Back then, they used to do the, you know, in office classes, and you know, she'd say, hey, I'll pay for everything.
This is 1997, right?
1996, 1995. Yeah, she'd say, hey, I'll
Golden
go
years.
pick you up. Golden years, man. I was, you know, 16 years old. She says, I'll pick you up. I'll drop you off. I'll pay for the classes. I'll pay for the training. I'll pay for everything. You need to have a real estate license because your future is bright if you follow this path. And but man, so that was back then. I didn't, you know, I didn't have the intentions of being in real estate because I just felt like it wasn't really for me. So fast forward to you know, COVID, or you know, right before COVID happened, the company that my younger brother and my dad used to run together in LA, you know, because of COVID, started to tank a little bit. And so I decided to, you know, look for a different avenue and, you know, explore different opportunities. And then I thought about real estate.
Real
man.
estate.
So
Man.
started taking my classes, aced the first time. Got my real estate license. I reached out to you
Yeah.
while I was taking my classes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I saw
Yeah.
you. I would always see you on Facebook and Instagram. Just
Mm-hmm.
posting different things, videos about educational videos, right? About real estate and all that
Investments,
good
all
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I reached out to you. I remember doing that, and fast forward to today, man. So I'm here now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy, guys.
So.
Hey, so this video might inspire some people, man. Right?
Yeah,
So check it out.
don't let that. If that real estate opportunity comes down, knocking on your door, open it, because I'm telling you, I know it's water under the bridge right now, but I wish back in 1996 when I was 16 years old that I jumped on that opportunity.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because we all say, hey, look, if I could have gotten real estate sooner, right, it would have been this, it would have been that, right? But I'm a firm believer that you don't choose the timing, right?
Yeah.
Timing chooses you.
Exactly.
Right. So now that you're in real estate, tell us a little bit about your short-term goals. Next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
What's Mario doing? This is part of the podcast, right? The master plan. So, a lot of us, we are designing a life, right? We're designing a plan.
Yeah.
I know Mario's got big goals here.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Well, that's a great question. That's a loaded question again, right? So I think that, short-term sort of a short-term plan, it's sort of just a foundation for your long-term, right?
Right.
So,
absolutely.
as kids, right? We do baby steps before we can run. So I'm
Right.
laying down the foundation right now so that, 5, 10, 20 years from now, I can be in a spot
Good
or a
place.
position where I don't have to hustle as hard as I'm doing right now.
That'd be nice, man. That day.
So that's my plan, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Work as hard as I can.
Absolutely.
Learn as much as I can. I think myself being here with you and the group, I think that's going to give me the tools that I need. It's already given me the tools
Right.
that I'm, really utilizing right now
Absolutely.
to make that happen. So
100%. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more of the master plan, right? So let's go in detail.
yeah.
Tell us, what's Mario look? You're not hustling as much, right?
Yeah.
But what does that look like?
Yeah. So
Inspire some of us here that are watching.
yeah.
How do you get there? What is that even?
Yeah. So no, that's a great question, man. To be honest with you, I'm going to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Before I got here, I thought I had a master plan, and I
Okay.
didn't. I just thought, to me, in my head, laying in bed, getting ready to go to bed, I'm thinking, well, I just need to open 2 more escrows. I need to open 3 more, 5 more, and it was constant sort of chasing.
One more deal.
Yeah,
One more deal. All I need is one more deal.
Yeah. And I think while that's great, think about it. As men and women, you can only do that for so long, right?
Got a few years to do it.
Right?
Yeah.
Energy wise,
Yeah.
kids, right?
family,
My
right?
kids have started playing sports now.
Yeah.
My little girls, they're playing instruments. One of my girls, she wants to pursue singing.
There you
So
go.
eventually, right, I won't
Yeah.
have the time to be able to share those memories with my kids. So
Right.
I need to better myself and allow myself to be in a position where I can
Financially
yeah,
afford to
financially, be able
create
to
that.
exactly. So to be honest with you, before I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
a master plan. Before I came and started working with you guys, now I do. I really
Nice.
have a vision, and that vision, to be honest with you, it's a combination of a few things. It's a
Right.
combination of what you've got going on yourself,
Right.
what Alex has going on.
Absolutely.
And what Max has going on too.
Yeah.
Because for
Mixing
some of
it
the
up.
yeah, exactly. For some of the guys that are not, that they're watching, you probably thinking, well, what is all that? Man, you guys are just gonna have to, come in one day and spend a day or two with us here so that you can understand what it is that I'm talking about. But to get into details, it has to do with that wealth mentality, right?
Right,
Most
right.
of us are chasing riches.
Yeah.
Right? Which is fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But think about it. Do you want to be that agent that's 65? Nothing wrong with that, okay? 65, 75 years old, and you're booking showings for buyers, okay?
Right.
Or you're
Right.
chasing those sellers as opposed to those sellers chasing you,
Right,
right?
right.
I don't want that. So I'm going to
Got to
work.
build it now.
You got to build it. Exactly.
Yeah, and if you don't know, guys, as real estate agents, we're 1099 income. It's commission only. There is no retirement, plan being created for us. We got to go create it and build it. And so a lot of us, we don't get taught that 2 years later on in our careers, right? Or in general, sometimes some offices don't even share that, right? It's kind of like a secret that's taught only to the top producers. And so, if you make a lot of money at some point, they tell you, hey, let's buy a rental together.
Right.
And that's where it starts. But I think every person is qualified to learn how to build, a backup plan,
Right.
or a retirement plan, whatever that is, to keep it going, right,
Yeah.
in your golden years, right?
Exactly.
So that's great, man. I'm glad we're inspiring you to do that. And it might be a little bit of this, a little bit of that, right? Some rentals, some build, and that's what it really is. It's not one. The gentleman that I reach out to for wealth, they have a diverse portfolio.
Right.
They do a little bit of stocks, bonds. They have some hard money lending going on. They have, other hobbies that they do. Crypto, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to diversify
Yeah.
and really look at different things,
Exactly.
So that's great, man.
Yeah.
So you have there's three children. They're going through school, sports. They want dad, right? They want to see dad around and be there, which I share something very similar. We want to. My number one purpose is to be a great dad.
Right.
And so I'm sure the design of all this has to do back to how we being great parents.
Right.
And so, we're still learning, guys. Right? We don't have it figured out.
No.
It's not a one pill magic. There you go. It's how it works. It's balancing. Well, if you want to call it balance, right? It's always going to be unbalanced, but it's finding that wheel, right? And balancing the wheel out to where you can have the time, the money,
Financial freedom.
the financial freedom, the relationships to do well.
True.
But thanks, Mario, again for joining us.
thank you.
Where can we find you on social media?
Hey, I'm on social media, Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok, believe it or not.
Nice.
My kids have more followers than I do, but that's okay. Hey, that should inspire you to follow me,
motivation.
okay? Yeah, motivation right there. Yeah, so I'm on social media.
Mora Falconi.
Yeah, exactly. Realtor Falconi. That's going to be my handle for Instagram. Facebook, it's just, Mario Falconi, the real estate agent. So, yeah, reach out with any questions.
Yeah, guys, it's a little more about us. You can visit us at TheMoraPartners.com. That has a little bit of what Mario's talking about, what we do here, the investment development and the brokerage. Also how to invest, right? We'll have more content on how to do startup, development, both residential, commercial, the wholesaling, the flipping, on Alex's side of it, and also how to just be a great agent, So follow us for that. And Mario, it was a pleasure, man. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me.
No plan, guys.
Appreciate
We had no script today, but
Yeah.
we had fun and learned a lot from Mario today.
Exactly, yes.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. No, thank you.